Part 1. Slipping into strange familiarity. Good evening, dear listener. As you settle into your space tonight, let the day melt away. Let your breath become slow, steady, and soft. You're safe now. You're warm. And there's nothing left to do but listen. Close your eyes and imagine yourself drifting gently through a quiet universe. A universe that looks almost exactly like the one you know, but not quite. Tonight, we'll be exploring something both curious and strangely comforting. It's called the Mandela Effect. It's a phenomenon where many people, sometimes thousands or millions, share the exact same memory, even when it turns out to be wrong. But is it really wrong? Or have we somehow slipped between worlds, brushing against alternate timelines without knowing it? That's what we're going to wonder about tonight. Gently, softly, together. Let's begin with the name itself. The Mandela Effect. It started when a large group of people remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. They remembered the news coverage, the mourning, even the funeral. But Mandela didn't die then. He was released. He went on to become president of South Africa, and he didn't pass away until 2013. So how could so many people remember the same false event? It didn't stop there. People began to notice other odd memories, things that felt off, as if they'd been swapped quietly in the background of reality. Do you remember the Berenstain Bears? Or was it Berenstain? Was it Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, or Magic Mirror on the Wall? Did the Monopoly Man have a monocle? Are you sure? These memories don't feel wrong. They feel real, deep, familiar. And that's what makes the Mandela Effect so mysterious. Because it's not just forgetting, it's not confusion, it's a quiet certainty that something used to be different. But the world disagrees. So, why do so many people remember the same wrong things? Some say it's just a psychological quirk, how our brains fill in gaps. Others suggest it's something stranger, that maybe we've shifted between parallel timelines, alternate versions of reality where the small details don't quite match. And maybe, just maybe, some part of us remembers where we came from. As you rest here tonight, let yourself drift into that idea. That reality might be more flexible than we think. That truth might come in layers. And that sometimes the feeling that something has changed might not be a mistake. It might be a clue, a quiet whisper from another world. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts soften. You're just remembering. And remembering is never wrong, even when it doesn't match the world around you. Part 2. The Memory That Doesn't Fit. Welcome back, gentle traveler. You're floating deeper now, gently rocking in the quiet space between certainty and doubt. The stars feel a little softer here. Time moves a little slower, and your mind, open and curious, begins to wander. Tonight we're exploring the Mandela Effect, a mystery that lives not in the stars but in the corners of your memory. So let's imagine this. You open a box of something familiar, a cereal you grew up with. The label looks wrong, just a little, one letter off, one color missing. It doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like something changed. You look it up. Everyone says it's always been that way. But your body disagrees. Your bones remember differently. That's the Mandela Effect. It's when the world says one thing but your memory says another, and you're not alone. Thousands, even millions, remember the same things differently. Not just one-off details, but specific, shared visions. That's what makes it so strange, so mysterious, so oddly comforting. Because maybe you weren't imagining it. Maybe something did shift. Some believe it's a glitch in the way we recall things, a mind filling in blanks with what feels right. But others wonder if it's a sign that we've moved, slipped, shifted from one reality into another, one where everything looks the same, except for the tiniest details. Like waking from a dream that felt too real, like looking at an old photograph and seeing someone you swear wasn't there before. Maybe the Mandela Effect is memory without proof. A message from a version of the world you used to live in, a version you barely noticed leaving. Let that thought drift across your mind now, like a slow, glowing cloud. You are here, but part of you remembers there, and maybe the difference between here and there is smaller than we think. Not a jump, not a leap, just a gentle slide, a soft flicker. Like turning the page in a book you've already read once, in another life. And now you're reading it again. Different, but familiar. Part 3. Slipping Between Timelines. Welcome back. You're floating now through memory, mystery, and moonlight. A quiet world where everything feels familiar, but not quite. You've been here before, haven't you? Let's talk about timelines. If the Mandela Effect is real, not just forgetfulness but something deeper, then maybe it's because you've moved, not across space, but across realities. Imagine just for a moment that there are infinite versions of the world, universes stacked like pages in a book. Most are almost identical. But in one, a word is spelled differently. In another, a famous figure lived a slightly different life. In yet another, you took the long road home instead of the short one. And maybe, in your sleep, or your dreams, or during some small silent shift, you changed pages. You woke up in a timeline just a little different from the one you remember. That would explain the feeling, wouldn't it? That quiet confusion, that flicker of something being off. You know the feeling when you're certain something happened, had to have happened, but no one else remembers it that way. You search old boxes, flip through books, check photos, ask people you trust, and the world insists you're wrong, but you don't feel wrong. You feel like you just came from somewhere else. And maybe that's exactly what happened. Maybe the universe is like a hallway of mirrors, and sometimes, without warning, we walk through one and come out just slightly shifted. Same you, same world, but the tiniest things out of place. Let that idea float gently in your mind. Not heavy, not scary, just curious. What if you're not imagining it? What if your memory is the clue? And what if, on some deeper level, your soul remembers all the timelines it's passed through? A quiet traveler, gathering pieces, leaving breadcrumbs, so you'll know deep down that you've been more than one place. And maybe tonight you're remembering not something wrong, but something true. Part 4. The Comfort of Shared Confusion. Welcome back, gentle soul. You're deep now, deep in the quiet, deep in the in-between. The world is soft around you. The air is slow, and the mystery feels peaceful. We've talked about slipping timelines, about memories that don't fit. But tonight, let's talk about something even more powerful: community. You see, the Mandela effect isn't just something that happens in your own mind. It happens together. When you think you remember something, and someone else says, "Wait, I remember that too," that's when it hits you. The feeling that you're not crazy. You're not alone. You've both seen the same shadow on the wall. The Monopoly man's missing monocle. Luke, I am your father, turning into something else. A logo you know had a swirl, now suddenly doesn't. And then, online or in conversation, you hear the same thing from someone else, and someone else, and someone else. How could all of you remember it wrong? It's strangely comforting, like finding someone who speaks your secret language. That's one of the strangest parts of the Mandela effect. It connects people, through confusion, through mystery, through the deep, shared belief that something's off, and we felt it at the same time. And that makes it beautiful, because in this ever-shifting world, it reminds us that we're shifting together, even if it's just memories, even if it's just a name, or a quote, or the color of a fruit logo. That little spark of recognition, that yes, me too, makes you feel seen, makes you feel like maybe we're all dreamers, waking up in a world that's slightly different from the one we fell asleep in. So if you've ever felt that soft, strange certainty that something changed, and if someone else said they felt it too, you're not broken, you're entangled, and maybe we all are, like little lights flickering in the dark, blinking in time. Let that comfort wrap around you now, like a warm memory you know you remember, even if the world forgot. Part 5. Dreams and Alternate Realities. Welcome back. You're floating gently now, somewhere between memory and imagination. The world outside your window has faded. There's only the quiet hum of thought, the soft rhythm of your breath. Tonight, let's follow that rhythm into dreams. What do dreams have to do with the Mandela effect? Well, maybe everything. You've had those dreams, haven't you? The ones where the world is almost right, but not quite. Your childhood home is there, but the walls are the wrong color. Your friend is with you, but says something they never would. You know you're somewhere familiar, but you can't explain why it's different. Sometimes you wake up, and the dream lingers. It follows you. It feels like a memory, even though you know it wasn't real. But what if it was real? What if dreams are moments spent in another version of the world? A version where the cereal box said, Berenstein, where Pikachu did have that little black stripe, where you took a different turn, made a different choice, lived a different life. Some believe dreams are just your brain making noise, but some quietly, curiously, wonder if dreams are glimpses, peeks through the veil, slips into side roads of reality. And maybe, when you wake up remembering something wrong, you're not remembering it wrong at all. Maybe you're remembering the version of you who stayed in the dream, the version who didn't cross over, the one still living in a nearby thread. So when you feel that soft disorientation, that wasn't it always like this moment, maybe it's not confusion, maybe it's homesickness. Not for a place, but for a timeline you briefly visited. And maybe, just maybe, you'll return to it tonight. Let that thought be gentle. Let it rock you. You don't need to understand it. Just feel it, like a dream you know you've had before, even if you can't explain it. Part 6. Memory or Message. Welcome back, dream traveler. Your breath is steady now, your body feels weightless, and your mind is a calm lake, still and deep. Let's go even deeper. We've talked about memory, about dreams, about slipping between versions of the world. But what if the Mandela Effect isn't just about memory? What if it's a message? Not a loud message, not a warning, just a whisper. Something small meant to remind you. Reality is not fixed, and neither are you. The world isn't as solid as it seems. Not every door is locked. Not every timeline is sealed. Maybe the Mandela Effect is like a cosmic post-it note, a nudge, a tiny ripple that says, hey, there's more than one way things could go. Maybe it's the universe giving you a clue, that choices matter, that paths split, that you're part of something bigger than this one version of your life. A glitch, a trick of the brain, or maybe a signal, like static on the radio, like finding a book you swear never existed, like remembering a word that no one else does. Some say it's all imagination. But why do those little differences feel so real? Why do they stay with you? Why does the idea of wrong memory feel so right? Maybe it's not wrong. Maybe it's a breadcrumb, a faint echo from a different version of you. One who made a different choice. You one who made a different choice and remembers something you've forgotten. Let that thought drift gently across your chest. Don't hold it. Don't chase it. Just rest in the wonder that maybe your memories are trying to tell you something. You haven't lost your mind. You've just touched more than one. Part 7. Time and the Shifting Now. Welcome back. You're deeper now, floating in a space where time feels slow and stretchy, like warm honey sliding through your fingers. The clock doesn't tick here. The past and present blur. Let's talk about time. The Mandela Effect at its heart isn't just about memory. It's about when something was and when it changed. But changed when? You see, time, as we usually understand it, moves in a line, past, present, future. But maybe that's not quite how it works. Maybe time is more like a river with many branches, or a spiral, or a web. And maybe, just maybe, we don't always stay on the same line. What if time can shift? Gently, silently, without us knowing. A small fork in the road, a moment you didn't even notice, and suddenly you're in a version of now where something is different. Not huge differences, not chaos, just magic mirror. Instead of mirror, mirror. Febreze with one E, a movie you swear existed, but can't find anywhere now. Maybe you've felt it, that eerie sensation when something feels off and you can't explain why. Like time slipped sideways for just a second. Some people call it a glitch, a hiccup in memory. Others think it's time itself, stretching and folding like fabric, bringing us into contact with other versions of now, ones we didn't mean to visit, but now we're here, and we carry something with us. A word, a logo, a scene from a movie, a piece of the timeline we left. That's why it feels real, because it was, just not here. And maybe it's still real somewhere else. So tonight, as you lie here drifting, feel how soft time is, how quiet, how strange. The past isn't gone, the future isn't fixed, and the present might be shifting under your feet right now. But don't worry, you're not lost. You're just flowing right where you need to be. Part 8. The Mirror World. Welcome back, wanderer. You're resting so deeply now. The world is distant, your breath is steady, and your mind drifts through quiet layers of thought. Let's take a look into the mirror. Not the kind hanging on your wall, but the kind that might reflect another world. Some who explore the Mandela Effect say this, that there's a mirror world, a version of reality just beside ours, almost identical. Same people, same places, same stories, but different in small ways. Tiny details, subtle shifts. And maybe sometimes people move between them. You wouldn't notice a big change. You wouldn't wake up in a world of flying cars or purple skies. But you might notice that a logo changed, that a quote sounds wrong, that something you learned as a child no longer exists the way you remember. Maybe that's not error. Maybe that's evidence. Evidence that you passed somehow through the mirror. A quiet crossing. A step taken in sleep. A dream that left a footprint. And here you are now, in a reality that's almost yours, but not quite. Some people say the Mandela Effect is mass memory distortion, but maybe it's mass memory continuity from a version of the world we no longer live in. Maybe that's why it feels so familiar, so certain. Not a mistake, but a message, a soft reflection, a flicker of a place just out of view. So when you look in the mirror tomorrow morning, take a moment, look a little longer. See if your reflection feels shifted, not wrong, just elsewhere. Because maybe, just maybe, you brought something back from the other side, and it's still with you, even now, even here. Part 9. The Ones Who Remember. Welcome back. You're floating now in that soft space between waking and dreaming, where thoughts drift like clouds and the edges of reality are blurred. This is the perfect place to remember, because tonight we're talking about the ones who remember. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're one of the quiet few who notice the shifts, who say, "Wait, wasn't it always that way?" And hear others reply, "No, it's always been like this," but still, you feel it. The old version of the world whispering. The ones who remember don't always have proof. They don't always speak up, but they feel it in their bones. And the strange thing is, they find each other in passing conversations, in online forums, in shared looks between friends, people who've never met, from places far apart, all remembering the same thing, wrong, or some say it's just psychology, a collective misremembering. But what if it's something deeper? What if remembering differently is a sign that you've brushed against other timelines, that your mind is more sensitive, more tuned to the hidden hum of the multiverse? It doesn't make you broken. It makes you aware, like a dreamwalker, waking up with bits of stardust still on their hands. So if you remember a book title no one else does, or a childhood memory that no longer fits the photo, or a word that sounds wrong now, even though everyone says it hasn't changed. Maybe that's your gift. Maybe you're one of the ones who carry memories from more than one world. Let that be a comfort, not a question, not a worry. You are not confused. You are simply awake in a sleeping world. And maybe the ones who remember are here to guide the rest. Gently, quietly, with patience, with wonder. Part 10. You are the multiverse. Welcome back, dear listener. This is the final stretch. You're calm, still, safe, wrapped in the warmth of mystery, resting softly in the space between what is and what might be. We've talked tonight about the Mandela Effect, about memories that don't match the world, about dreams that feel like echoes, about timelines that slip past each other like waves. But now, let's come to a softer truth. You are not just moving through the multiverse. You are the multiverse. Every version of you, every choice, every thought, every possibility exists somewhere. A you who turned left instead of right, who stayed, who said yes, who said nothing. A version of you who remembers the world differently because they lived in a different one, and sometimes, maybe just in moments of stillness like this one, you feel them. You remember something they experienced. You carry a memory that doesn't belong to this version of your life, but belongs to a life you might have lived. And that's okay. That's not an error. That's not confusion. That's your soul whispering. You are more than one story. You are a book with many chapters, a song with layered melodies, a being who stretches across possibility. And when you feel those strange memories, those soft ripples of the Mandela Effect, it's just a reminder that the universe is wide and weird and wonderful. And you, dear dreamer, are a thread in its endless fabric. So sleep now, knowing you are not lost, not mistaken, not broken. You are remembering what the stars already know. You are infinite, and you are home.